Welcome to the Social Podcast, where no discussion or debate is off limits.
Happy Monday. I'm surprised any of y'all that were up so late have any energy because we're starting off the show with a Let's Go Blue Jays. The Game 7 matchup between the Blue Jays and the Mariners, it actually goes down tonight. Get that nap in, disco nap they call it. Get the disco nap in. Game goes tonight at 8 o'clock, and hopefully we'll be here tomorrow saying... Go Jays, go. All right, everybody. Well, the 2025 Academy Museum Gala went down last night in LA, and we saw some of the biggest names in film, television, and music hit the red carpet. Names like Viola Davis, Io Adebari, Olivia Rodrigo, just some of the stars that were there to celebrate and to fundraise. So we're going to talk fashion. And Cynthia, whose look stood out to you?
I chose Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, I love this.
This is gonna get ready for this. This is a Saint Laurent gown, and it's multiple shades of brown. I would say there's a chocolate, there's sort of a butterscotch, there's a toffee. The front of it was kind of more of almost yellow tones.
Yeah.
This was a very divisive dress. Not everyone liked it, but I don't think you can deny the fact that this woman is owning it. There's this backless element, right? Like let's give her that.
Poor God.
So,
and the little bob.
The backless dress, and she's showing off her new tattoos. People online were comparing it to sort of an Angelina Jolie moment, who also was on a red carpet doing the same thing. I love it. Show off your work. The only thing I will say is it felt like you could almost hear this dress. Like, can you just imagine the sort of the sound that it might make as she was walking down? Regardless, I feel like she owned like sort of old Hollywood and kind of like a Renaissance painting mixed together. Beautiful.
I love it.
And again, that haircut was a perfect entry. All right, so my choice is a woman who every once in a while she steps out of her house to remind us that she is a red carpet icon. I'm talking about Demi Moore. Demi Moore showed up in this burgundy Prada satin gown with this asymmetrical train on the side with the jewels. Her hairdresser said he was going for a Studio 54 sexiness so that it would be a little less conservative. And I just feel like she nails it every single time with the style, the cut, and most importantly, the color. So for me, as soon as I saw her, I go, oh, there she is. That's my choice. But every once in a while, Brad Goreski, who's a Canadian, who is our stylist, always knocks it out of the park.
Yeah,
very nice.
That's a great moment there.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know what you're going to think about my choice, but I'm just going to put it out there. Remember, it's who's your standout look. I went with Elle Fanning, beautiful actress, talented actress.
Oh.
So not the same. God, no, you don't like it.
I loved it.
Oh, no.
I love it.
I knew it, but do you know what? Like, the assignment was, for us at least, like, who was your standout look? And I truly do believe this silhouette stood out on that red carpet amongst the sea of, cinched waists and a lot of skin being exposed. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's Balenciaga, straight off the spring runway, so in style. She's got some Cartier jewelry. You're not mad at that, I hope.
Yeah.
Look at that cute haircut.
The color combination, too, I just actually love. And then it's like kind of fluffy, muppety. It's fun. She looks
like the car wash. Remember the car wash?
Yes!
It's car wash on the bottom.
But then tuxedo tails at the back. You're not wrong.
It's a little car washy, but fashion.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your support.
I heard her limo was spotless when she pulled up. My choice, she was the only celebrity that actually decided to show up on the red carpet and not show her face. I'm talking about Kim Kardashian, ladies and gentlemen. Literally not showing her face. So the question online is this costume or is this commentary? Is she telling us, I'm so famous, you don't even need to see my face to know who I am?
Wow.
Or is this just pure ridiculousness? So,
Ridiculousness, you say?
This is
so painful.
It looks so painful. This is by Maison Margiela, and she actually said that this was a last-minute decision. She had her full hair and makeup done. I know you would think, but she had her full hair and makeup team. She had her full hair and makeup done. this was a last-minute ad.
Did Kanye get involved?
Wait,
This
no.
sounds like a Kanye
Well,
idea,
it's funny that you bring
right?
that up.
Yeah.
It's not the first time she's covered her face. She did this at the 2021 Met Gala when she wore actually Balenciaga.
Yeah.
And she did the red carpet. She was wearing all black and she had herself fully covered as well, face fully covered. And listen, a lot of people are making commentary, things like, at least she has done us all a favor and covered up her face this time.
No, that's mean.
That's not nice.
Okay, then somebody else
mean.
said, can't see her face, but still serving face. That's interesting. A whole outfit that makes you look like you're in agony. And finally, great call. Let's suffocate our daughters more. So it was very mixed.
You know what? This is also something that we do in fashion. You know when you have your hair and makeup done, but you need to put your dress on? So you put a scarf over your head so that you can get it on. I'm thinking she just put the scarf and she's like, you know what?
I look
Let's
good.
do it. Let's do it.
Yeah,
The
this
choice.
is a moment.
It was a
It was a choice.
All right. Who knows?
I'm saying, I've done that.
Okay, we're gonna stick with fashion because Alexander Skarsgård wore a backless halterneck to the BFI London Film Festival red carpet to promote his movie Pillion, where he plays the leader of a biker gang with a taste for BDSM. So, what do we think of this look?
Mel, do you love it?
Here's the thing. It's not my cup of tea. However, like if Ryan walked out in this, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's so hot, let me rip your clothes off. But I appreciate that Alexander Skarsgård, who is a more conventionally masculine guy with muscles, is pulling this off, because we see Timothée Chalamet, who does this all the time, plays with androgyny and gender, and I think the reason why he gets away with it is because he's very slightly, he's like wafy, he's skinny, he's more androgynous, he gets away with it. I think this is a big statement for a lot of men to be like, I can be a manly man and pull off a backless halterneck. I wish that he'd do this more, although, and I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about this, I think he's telling us that secretly, not so secretly, he's a kinky guy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, he's advertising
He's
the movie.
advertising the
I think
movie.
he's advertising the he's movie. not.
No, but he is kind of like he's.
Okay,
still...
then explain. I want to show you two other looks.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Okay,
and
we're doing deep
you know, two
dive.
other. I don't know which one we're going to throw. We have one more, and again, I don't know what the movie was that he was actually promoting, but you know, this was another look that
my
he
God.
did.
Well, that's not a kinky look. That's
No, but he's saying something.
Those are shorts.
He's
from the
definitely
70s.
veering into fetish territory. Anyway, what you?
Well, I just think that the look spreads joy. It reminded me of, do you remember that old SNL Chippendales sketch with Chris Farley and Patrick Swayze?
Yeah, with
it's giving
with
me
the bow
that
tie
vibe.
and
yes, and they're
yes.
stripping. It just spread, there's nothing to be mad about. Like, how can anyone be upset by this?
I think I'm the only one here who's a little underwhelmed, and I know why. I grew up in a time where people like Prince, George Clinton, and Rick James regularly wore things where butt cheeks were out, lace, all kinds of craziness. So when I see a man who's just wearing a shirt, a backless shirt and tie, which let's be real, if Alex puts on a blazer, it's a regular outfit.
Yeah.
I'm kind of underwhelmed. I'm like, this is all you can do. This is your stylist trying to get people to talk, and we are talking about it, but I'm like, honey, dig a little bit deeper, get the shorts a little bit shorter, do a little crop.
Oh, you want
Bring me a
more?
little- This is nothing. This is so safe. It's so safe.
Safe.
Or maybe I'm telling about myself. Okay, never mind. All right, so let's dive into this next one. After the No Kings protest this weekend, are you wondering why anyone would dress up like a chicken to protest fascism? Millions hit the streets and cities across America and the world on Saturday, many in silly inflatable costumes. According to the New York Times, this is called tactical frivolity. It's a way to undercut the accusation from Republicans that these protests were violent, hate-filled rallies. So, do you think using humor is an effective strategy, or does it diminish the message?
Interesting,
Big question.
right?
Tough, huh?
Right?
People
Big
aren't
question.
sure. I mean, I do think it's clever. Like, here's the thing, that Trump and his team, they're all claiming that these were hate protests, these were like I Hate America protests. They were claiming that there were Antifa people, Hamas, like they were accusing all kinds of things about this. And then when you look at the footage and you're like, wait a minute, there's like a stuffy of a frog or whatever, like how, and there's a kind of air of frivolity and air of like goofiness, like they clearly are not people who are dangerous.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
that really is an important thing, that it's a temperature check almost
Yeah.
of like what was happening there. And when there's an article, I know. There was an article in the New York Times, and they said frivolity and absurdity are kryptonite to authoritarians who project the stern father archetype to their followers.
Yeah.
And I think there's something very powerful when you think about it in that way.
Yeah, it's interesting because I call him toddler in a tiara. He's a toddler in tiara, and the protesters are just speaking to him and using the symbols that he understands, because I don't really think he reads a whole lot. So there's that. But it does undermine. It undermines something. We know that his administration and Trump himself, they don't have a sense of humor. So the whole idea is the poking fun. He can't even read the poking fun.
Yeah.
His AI team and social media team, however, they are using what they think is funny to put out stuff like this right after the protests. Take a look. So they created this and posted this on Trump's own. This was on Trump's own social media account.
Oh my Lord!
And guess what? Watch. Yeah. This is from the president's official social media accounts.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Shocking.
The message that sends is so profound that you think it's funny, an image of yourself as a king pooing all over American citizens.
Yeah.
Americans.
Listen, and this is coming from a group of people who politically gave Barack Obama a hard time for wearing a tan suit. Remember that? Remember that when that was considered very unpresidential? I think it's very interesting. I don't necessarily agree with this tactic because I think when we look back in history, they'll look at this time as a very dark time. And when I look at American history, and I think of another time that was really dark, it was during the Civil Rights Movement. And I just can't imagine that when Martin Luther King was fighting for to end segregation in schools and for voters' rights and for people just to be treated like human beings, the idea of him being at a podium and just kind of adding a little humor or telling people to show up at a march that sometimes people died at those marches, be like, yeah, dress up and let's have fun.
Yeah.
To me, when I look back at that was a dark time. And if they'd done that, it would have ruffled a lot of feathers and it wouldn't have been impactful. So I understand what they're trying to do, but to me, what's happening in the United States, and I don't need to give you the long list, we are seeing it every single day since he was inaugurated. Day after day, it's just an onslaught of things. It's a very serious time. So I feel like the Democrats, which I think a lot of Democrats right now are looking to, the Democratic voters are like, do something, say something. Where is the leadership? Please do not dress up in this stuff. We need to get ourselves out of this before we end up in this dictatorship, because this man does not want to leave office. There's some serious things going on. So for me, the costumes it doesn't wash with me. If I was an American citizen and I'm seeing like, there are Latino families right now in Chicago who are asking their Caucasian friends to walk their children to school because they're afraid of being grabbed up by ICE. Yeah. These are very dark times.
There were a lot of Mexican and Latino protesters dressing up and using humor in the same way. Because I think that part of it is, and I'm not saying it's the only answer, but part of it is also trying to get new voters. Like half the country.
Do you think dressing up is going to get someone to vote and change their position?
Because the Democratic Party is seen in a particular way. They are seen as not having
they're not standing up to
they're not standing up.
So why is dressing up in a fun costume? How's that going to change people's minds?
I think maybe what the attempt is to say that, like, hey, we're not as scary as some people has made us out to be. We're not this, very serious, people that we're actually, we're on the same side as you. We're meeting where we can, because what we all can agree on for people who are not happy with their vote for Trump is that we want him out. So they're trying to be like a safe place to meet. I think that's interesting.
I don't think Democrats are scary at all.
I think it's an interesting thing because I don't think everybody was dressing up.
No.
I think there were some people who clearly are very scared. I do wonder if there's a little bit of privilege at play. When you take a look at the protesters, they are a cross-section of America. I think if you are feeling, quote unquote, safer, to your point, who's a little safer right now, even though Americans are getting snatched up off the streets? It's Latino and brown Americans who are getting snatched up off the street. I think if you are still feeling safer and you are in a position of privilege, dare I say, and you're trying to speak up for those who cannot put on a costume, who don't think this is funny, but they also know that this is the way to get at this president. We are not, when you invite a clown into the White House, you know what happens? Everything turns into a circus.
Amen.
And what has happened is I think these costumes are, it's the same way that why do people dress up at Carnival or, during Lent? Those costumes are meant to poke fun at power. You actually have a very deeply political meaning
and it's
under
certainly
it,
not
right?
exclusive to America.
It's not. It's not.
I'm listening you guys. This is such an interesting conversation. On one hand, to be honest, it feels like there's nowhere left to go except with satire. Like from where we're sitting as Canadians, it's like we're watching the most insane political satire that we've ever seen. So the idea to protest in earnest almost seems absurd because it is absurd. Do you know what I mean? Because
they tried and it
feels
didn't
absurd.
work.
Exactly.
They tried the resistance.
But on the
it didn't
same
work.
hand, like the big complaint is that Democrats have not stood up effectively to authoritarianism. So enter this thing called tactical frivolity. And then that leads me back to what you were saying. Is that the answer?
Is that the answer?
Do you know what I mean?
So.
That seems nuts to me too. But at the very least, people showed up. People showed up in the thousands.
7 million.
And so I think
7 million.
in the millions, I take that back.
Yeah.
So doesn't the fact that they show up speak louder than whatever costume that might have gone over most of our heads?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So the numbers speak.
You know what would have
at
been
the very
really
end.
great if they stood up in front of a hospital that was about to close that was going to affect an entire community? That's also very effective.
That's also probably
Without the
more
costume.
effective.
So
Yeah. Fair.
Subscribe to the Social Podcast so you don't miss a fiery debate. Until next time, socialites.